Yeah, but how do I get my paper signed on the Zoom meeting?
Don't worry, you'll tell
Whoa,
me.
whoa, whoa. So, hold on. We're going to stop 1 second. Miss Nowak, let's have a real conversation right now. Olivia Nowak, 2300681.
Good morning. Oops. Good morning, Your Honor. Leslie Pose on behalf of Olivia Nowak. P61843.
Miss Nowak,
Approving this being conducted by Zoom.
Miss Nowak, state your name, please.
Olivia Nowak.
All right. Today's date and time set for a pretrial in this matter. It's my understanding there's a request to adjourn this, correct, Ms. Posner?
Correct, Your Honor.
It looks like you want to get to work with Ms. Nowak and see if you can put her in the best possible position, not just in regards to this case, but in all areas when it comes to sobriety, healthy living, all of that, correct?
I'm pleased to announce that she's on board. She's going to meetings. She's got a sign-in sheet. She's getting a sponsor. She is actually listening to me, which makes me extremely happy because I consider myself, her attorney, but also a mini sponsor because I've been doing this for so many years. And I know the only way to succeed is to do the program. So she's on.
So she hasn't officially been arraigned here because there's a waiver of arraignment. So I'm going to set a $500 personal bond. Ms. Nowak, that's not a cash bond. That's your personal promise that she'll show up for all future court dates and that you'll follow all my bond conditions. Now, through Southfield, did they have her on some sort of testing?
Yes.
All right. What are they having her do for testing?
Well, if you tell me your testing schedule, I don't have it.
I do 3 tests a month randomly for alcohol.
Okay.
Drugs randomly.
And that was for a probation for a first offense. Now you're facing a charge for a second offense, drinking and driving. So that testing protocol 3 times a month is really insufficient based on the allegations. And
she also has a violation coming up on that first offense because of this incident. So
I agree, Ms. Posner. My guess though is that once they hear that of this court's bond conditions, then my hope is perhaps that they'll follow along with those rather than incarcerate her. So I do think an increase in testing is appropriate. So I'm going to order a SoberLink device along with pretrial services. The SoberLink will be at 4 times a day. Pretrial services, Ms. Nowak, I want you to write this phone number down. It's 248-451-2326. And you'll call them and they'll help you set up your SoberLink testing. It's a portable device like the size of an iPhone. You blow into it multiple times during the day. There should be do not leave the state of Michigan without the permission of this court. No new criminal offenses. Let us know if you change your address. Obviously follow all terms and conditions of your Southfield probation. No alcohol, marijuana, or any illegal controlled substances. And like I said, you'll be on the SoberLink at 4 times a day. No bars, clubs, liquor stores while on bond. How often is she going to meetings, Ms. Posner?
I have her sign-up sheet. How long? I didn't look at each thing. Tell me.
At least twice a week. I was going 3, but now it's like twice, Tuesdays and Fridays, at least. I work full-time still. I go to school full-time still, and I'm doing my community service at my days.
And I am working on getting her into an inpatient because she does have insurance through her mother that I think will get her into a 2-week program with the Sacred Heart or something. So
at the very least, have her look into an IOP, outpatient, something along those lines. She should be going to 3 times a week meetings, so I'm adding that as a requirement. Ma'am, I know you have school, I know you have work, all right, but those things were in place when the new alleged offense took place, and they didn't prevent you from having this type of situation. So you've got to put your sobriety first. Ms. Posner is an expert when it comes to that. And she would tell you first and foremost, you start with your sobriety and you fit everything else in, because if you don't have your sobriety, you won't have any of the rest of that stuff. So that's the reality. And Ms. Nowak, it's a tough reality.
I need a job though. I got to pay for all this. So I kind of need a job. So
can she do an online program the one time? Because she is very committed to the 2 times a week, and I have sign-up sheets, and she's already working on getting a sponsor. So she is going. She's just trying to keep it all together. So I'm working with her. She just has,
no,
it's
just
hard to do
hearing-
the 2 weeks, the school and with her job.
So Ms. Posner, that's why I don't have an issue. I'm not requiring either inpatient or intensive outpatient. I do think intensive outpatient would make more sense and allow her to stay out. But if you notice, Ms. Nowak, I didn't order either of those things because I want you and Ms. Posner to start to figure out how it is that perhaps you can preserve your job and work on your sobriety at the same time.
And go to school and do my community service.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question, please?
So that's what you have to put here before you put anything in here and make a decision to do this.
Because I obviously am qualified as a sponsor on the phone for at least 45 minutes a week, in addition to the 2 in-person meetings. Could that count as a 3rd meeting? Because she is trying real hard and she's got a lot of stress and she's doing everything I say. I don't want to spread her too thin, but we could talk once a week for a couple hours, an hour at least, or.
Well, there are online meetings.
Yeah, but how do I get my paper signed on the Zoom meeting?
Don't worry, you'll tell
Whoa.
me.
So, hold on. We're going to stop 1 second. Ms. Nowak, let's have a real conversation right now. You were on probation for a drinking and driving offense, and you have allegedly committed another drinking and driving offense. You're lucky you're not on a tether. You're lucky you're not sitting in jail.
Right.
All right. So let's have a real, honest, frank conversation. Okay. So now all of these things, all these concerns that you have, they are valid concerns. But you are looking at an offense that you could potentially face up to a year. All right. So all of these great plans and ideas and things that you have, they will be gone if you don't get this right. All right. So that's where we start from. We start from how do we get this to work? Now, when it comes to documenting, now I've been doing this for a long time, Ms. Nowak. There have been lots of people who have had to manage this challenge. We know how to document the online meetings, and we can provide that sort of guidance for you. So I'm not saying that you can't go to online meetings. We'll just help you navigate how to document it.
Perfect.
So if you're wondering, like, how do I document it? Well, that's something that we would have contemplated. All right. The whole idea here is we need you to be sober and still have something to fight for, because you're right. If I just locked you up or you lost your job or you lost, then you lose stuff to fight for. Okay. But you also have to see it from my perspective, which is I've seen many people come through the court in this circumstance, people who say, I've got to stay sober for my job, and they can't. All right. I got to stay sober to go to school, and they can't. The only people who are able to stay sober are the ones that say, I need to stay sober for myself. All right. That's the reality every single time.
Absolutely.
So
I didn't give her that option because I didn't know that you could document the online, but that's perfect.
we can, Ms. Posner. Now, you and I both know the in-person are far and away better, but
She's loving, she's doing it and she's enjoying it and she's getting something out of it because we talk about it all the time.
but if it means that I can at least get her connected with people, even online, and
Yes.
then that helps her with her job and her work, I'm willing to work with you on that, Ms. Nowak. So that's where I'm at. I'm at least willing to hear what you have to say. I'm hopeful that you are hearing what I'm saying.
I do.
And I've done some online meetings since COVID, and they're actually sort of interesting and fun. If I find them fun, well, they kept me sober 30 years, so what can I tell you about that?
All right. So what I would even recommend, Ms. Posner, is just go ahead and reach out to my probation department and discuss how they document it. And so their phone number is
Right.
248.
Wait, I'm slow on writing because I just had my shoulder replaced with a metal ball. So give me a minute here.
That's right. There is a way to do this, Ms. Nowak. It's so 248
Number.
246 3670, and just say, Judge Meinecke asked me to call you so that I could find out how my client could document online meetings, and I'll give you the lowdown on how that happens.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. So my hope is, Ms. Nowak, that it's gone from feeling impossible to, although difficult, possible. So I hope that makes more sense now, having had this conversation. Does it at all?
Sure. The first phone number you gave me to call, the 248-451, what is that? What am I asking for? It's a blowing device?
So that's the one that you'll need to call to set up the SoberLink device.
Okay.
The other one, your attorney is going to call.
Okay.
All right. So you worry about, and they're not even going to have the information. You continue to do your ETGs. I won't even worry about calling them until Monday, because they won't even have this report. So you won't have to start on the blowing machine until Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
easier to go to meetings when you don't have to drive there too.
right. Well, that's, like I said, these are all on the table as long as she's willing to put her sobriety first and recognize that that has to come first. It does. It does. All right.
I'm
There's no way I
encouraged to
can-
believe so far from her listening to me and doing what I've told her to do, that she's ready to get this going and do it right.
Good luck, Mr. Nowak. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, and that happy weekend, I guess, huh?
Thank you, Ms. Posner.
Thank you.